And political reporter Rick Albin joins us now. And Rick, your thoughts on the president's address tonight?
Well, I think we pretty much know what he was going to talk about going into this. He took a look at those first 100 days, talked about what he sees as successes for the vaccine rollout, passing COVID relief. Remembering he did that with no Republican votes. We'll talk more about that. But the president made his case for his Americans Jobs Plan and the American Family Plan and tried to build enough popular support to move the needle with Republicans who say the plans are too wide-reaching and too expensive. Still, the administration believes there's support for those programs among the American people, and this was his opportunity to turn that support into some type of an acceptance for Republicans, particularly in the Senate. Now, the likelihood of that happening in any wholesale way is slim, at least in the short term. Criminal justice, racial justice also punctuated the president's speech, and their bipartisan negotiations are already underway, one area where Republicans and Democrats may find some common ground. On some of those bigger ticket issues, though, getting 10 Republicans to vote with Democrats without considerable negotiation or revamping may be next to impossible, which brings the president to one of his biggest hurdles. If his speech tonight or barnstorming over the next few days around the country don't create a groundswell of support that can move Republicans, Biden and his Democrat colleagues may have to go it alone, and that could result in a rules change in the Senate would only require a simple majority rather than the normal 60 to end debate and move a bill to a vote. If that happens, it would certainly be a significant departure from Senate norms, but it would also come at a time when the political divide in Washington shows no sign of growing smaller.
Right. No. Big, expensive, lot to unpack. We'll be discussing it, I'm sure, in the weeks ahead.
Months, yes.
Rick, thank you.
Rick, thank you. After the president's speech, the GOP gave its response, and tonight the rebuttal came from Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina.
And he called out President Biden and all Democrats. He says they're not doing enough to bring the country together, no matter who they voted for in November.
But President Biden promised you a specific kind of leadership. He promised to unite a nation, to lower the temperature, to govern for all Americans, no matter how we voted. This was the pitch. You just heard it again. But our nation is starving for more than empty platitudes. We need policies and progress that brings us closer together. But 3 months in, the actions of the president and his party are pulling us further and further apart.
Reaction from both sides of the aisle continues to roll in tonight. You can head over to woodtv.com for complete coverage.